So today's video, we're going to talk about verbs that end in ER or IR in the preterite that end with a vowel R. Generally speaking, these things get called Sandal verbs, so that you know. The three main rules would be that the I changes to a Y in the LA usted. Normally that form is IO, like comio, EO. So the I is going to change to a Y. And it also changes to a Y in the eos ustedes form. So where it would be like comieron, now with these types of verbs it would change to Y, like leyeron with a Y. Additionally, you're going to need an accent on the I in the yo form, and you're going to need your accent on the O in the la usted form. That's normal. The last thing that's a little funny is that you're going to get accents on the I in the tu, nosotros, and vosotros forms. We're going to go over why. Just as a caveat, if your verb ends in UIR, step 1 is true and step 2 is true, but step 3 is not. So just be careful of ones that end in UIR. Now, so that you know, strong vowels in Spanish are A, E, and O. And then essentially anything that has an accent over it becomes a strong vowel too. So if an A has an accent over it, it's still strong. If an E has an accent over it, it's still strong. And an O. But also the I and the U, if they have accents over them, would be considered strong. Weak vowels in Spanish are the I and the U and Y, which is, somewhat rare, but it happens. And so here's why this is very important. So once again, strong A, E, O, any with accents, weak I and U, and sometimes Y. And here's why that's important. When we put accents together, sometimes they form what's called a diphthong. A diphthong is like a gliding sound. So, for example, we have a strong vowel that's A and a weak vowel that's I, and they can go together in a gliding sound. That's bai. It's not bai, it's baile. And so the A and the I form sort of a teamwork, a friendship, if you will, and they make one sound. If you have two weak vowels together, you can also have a diphthong. That's like fuimos. The U and the I are both weak. You have fui. It's not fui, it's fui. Sort of makes that W sound that they have there. And a weak and a strong. So whereas this was AI, strong, weak, this will be weak, strong. Weak U, strong E. Puerta. And it's a gliding sound. Now, if you happen to have a different type of scenario with vowels, like if I have two strong ones together, and we'll go over that in a little bit, you can't form a diphthong. It forms a hiatus, or it splits them up. It's sort of like a stop. They get into separate syllables. Also, if you have a weak vowel that gets an accent, and a strong, or strong and then weak with an accent, either way, once that weak one gets an accent, it becomes strong. So essentially, they'd be strong and strong. And you cannot have two strong vowels together in the same syllable, and therefore they cannot be a diphthong. Diphthongs can only be a form of strong or weak, or weak or weak. Looking at this, you guys can kind of see some examples. So here's strong and strong. Ka-er. A and E we can't say kair. It's ka-er. The A and the E are said separately. Ka-er. Te-a-tro. Kor-e-o. To-I-ya. So the O and the I, it's split there. You could also have what they were mentioning on this page, where we have weak, tonic, and strong, where we have like an A, which is strong, and an I, which is weak, but this one has an accent. So it'd be raíz, split. Freír, split. Baúl, split. And also the reverse, where it goes weak with an accent, like sandía. Frío, the I and the O are splitting. Whereas if they aren't like that, maybe they could link together. Ciudad, viudo, rido, guido. They blend. Here's another strong and weak. Aire. It's not aire. Aire. How. La. Ow. Re. No. Deuda. They blend. And some of these at the bottom you can see viaje. Perdón, I'm going to wait for that. Nieve. Abuelo. Monstruo. So the things in green on the left, where we have weak and weak or strong and weak mixed, form diphthongs and they blend. The ones on the right, those can't blend. We split them. So some other words, weak combinations. Ciudad, buitre, muy. some weak strong. You can see them here, how they blend. And then these ones, these can't go together. Notice that's why the word oír has an actual accent on the I. It's not oír, it's oír. So we actually want to split it like that. And because we're wanting to split it like that, that's why we're putting that accent there. So just so you read this piece at the top, it says in each syllable you might encounter weak strong or weak diphthongs. But in each case, whatever you have, that's how you're going to tell how many syllables it's going to be. As a general rule, diphthongs in Spanish are not split unless the syllables have an accent or a tilde. Here's that example. Oír. Like, if this didn't have an accent, we would say it, oír. But accents are all about how the word is pronounced. The word is pronounced oír. Because we are splitting it in the sound, that's why we have an accent or a tilde. That's the whole point. So if you don't see an accent, they're going to blend if you have a weak and a strong. But if you do see an accent, they're going to separate. There are something called triphthongs in Spanish, and so we have to be a little bit careful about it. Sometimes you can have 3 vowels in a row. When you do, you have to have a weak vowel surrounding a strong vowel. So notice you'll have E's or I's on each side of this. I's on each side of a strong. I and a U are both weak on the side of a strong. I's on the side of a strong. I's on the side of a strong. U's on the sides of a strong. IU, both weak on the side of a strong. And the last one, using the I or Y, notice Y, same basic letter, but that'd be U and E on each side of a strong. This can happen. That's why we would say cambiáis, yai. It's a little tricky, but yai. Notice these are both weak. This one's strong. Meow, I-A-U, both weak. This one's strong. U-A-U, wow. This is a sound a cat makes, meow. This is a sound a dog makes, wow. Or a word like Uruguay, where we can see Y as a vowel. 2 weak ones around a strong one. But listen, triphthongs, they're not very common. So if we can avoid triphthongs, we will. And that is where this whole thing that we're trying to learn about today, where it falls into. We're going to try and avoid the triphthongs. So this is that first page again. Take a look, review it really quickly. The next 2 words are going to follow steps 1, 2, and 3. I to a Y and L-A usted and ellos ustedes. Accent on the I and the O in the normal yo and L-A form. But also we need accents all over nosotros to vosotros. Here's an example. Oír. Now, in the yo form, this is said oí. Oí. So it gets its normal accent, and it's 2 syllables. Oí. Not oi. Oí. In the to form, we have 3 syllables. O, is, te. Oíste. Because we put this accent here, the O and the I are splitting apart. If we don't have this accent, people would say this, oíste. And to say you heard is not oíste, it's oíste. In the L-A usted, we don't want to do this. This is what I was talking about with the triphthongs. That's a lot of letters in a row that are vowels. So here's what we're going to do. In this scenario, we are going to change the I to a Y. And this particular Y is not a vowel. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. Like Uruguay, it would be. In Oyo, it's not. But we're just trying to change to 3 in a row, because then we don't really know how to pronounce it, because we don't know where the I would go. Would it go with the first O or the second O? It's kind of weird. So we're going to switch it with a Y. So Oyo, it's said the same, Oyo, and we still have that accent where it needs to be over the O. With nosotros form is oímos, we have to split the O and the I by putting that accent over the I so that it becomes a strong one. 2 strongs can't go together, so it'll be oímos. Oístes, same thing, accent over the I to split it, so it's not oístes, but rather oístes. And at the end, oyeron, but again, we don't want to have the O, the I, and the E. Does the I go with the O or the E? That's confusing. So what we're going to do is we're going to go like this, oyeron. Then we know oyeron, and it's much easier. Notice with these sandal type verbs, you're going to have an accent in every box minus this box right here. No accent there. We'll do one more. Leer, notice we say leer, not leer, leer. La forma es leí. We want to split this so it's not leí, leí. Leíste, if we don't have the accent, it'd be leiste. We don't say it leiste, we say leíste. Again, here, we don't want to say leyó like that, but we do want to actually say leyó. So what we're going to do is just change it to a Y. Leyó. Leímos, as opposed to leemos. Need that accent. Leísteis, with the accent. Y al final, leyeron. But that's a lot of vowels in a row, so let's just switch it with a Y. So all in all, key words to remember, key rules to remember right here. I to a Y in the bottom boxes, lea usted and eos eos ustedes, because in the L form it'd be I-O, and plus your vowel right before that, that's 3 in a row. And in the eos eos ustedes it'd be I-E-R-O-N, and the I-E following the vowel you would have would make 3 in a row. We don't really want 3 in a row if we can avoid it. So Y in those bottom two boxes, accent still on the I and the O, accent over the O in the lea usted, and then we also need accents in the two nosotros, vosotros, to split the diphthong. If you have any questions, please make sure you ask so that I can clear up any misconceptions.